Hello YouTube, so after 5 attempts, I've made a Rainbow Loom Bulbasaur. I think it turned out really good this time. It might not be that appealing from this camera angle, but I think you'll like how it turns out. That white thing next to the red, that's supposed to be part of the eye, but you can cut that off or just not put it on if you don't like it. So let's get started, and don't forget to leave a like on this video. Okay, so to start out, we're just going to start making the body. We're not going to make anything before that, just for the sake of time. I think it's easier. So we're going to start out with the traditional flower shape in a pentagon, as you can see. And I'm sorry for the amount of camera focusing in this video. As you guys know, my camera is not very good. So going to put the cap band around the center peg 3 times, and even though it's blurry, you should be able to tell what I'm doing for most of it. So going to bring the flower out onto itself. And sorry for any background noise as always. My house does have a lot of that. You'll just have to bear with it. And this Bulbasaur did take me around an hour to fully make, but with this video it should take you guys maybe 30 minutes. So I'm going to move the middle row of the loom back so that there's no center peg, because we don't need the center peg anymore once we've made the flower. So I hope you saw what I did. You can go back and replay if you didn't. Okay, now we're going to make the eyes. So you take one red band. It took me a little bit to get it onto my hook because I was looking at the computer. And then you're going to twist it around your hook 3 times and then pull it onto 2 blue or green bands, whichever you're using. And then I'm going to make another one of those. Then we're going to make the white part of the eyes, which is the exact same thing except with white bands instead of red. Okay, now we're going to actually put them on the Bulbasaur, so just make it so that they're on one side there's a 1 space between them, and on another side there's a 2 space. I don't know if that makes sense, sorry. And then you're going to fill in the row with blue bands, 2 each time. And like always, afterwards you're going to take the bottom 4 bands on each peg and bring them up and over the pegs, as you can see from what I'm doing. And now we're going to move aside and make some ears. So you're going to need 2, of course, and it's just going to be 2 blue bands followed by a cap band of 1 blue band wrapped around the ending peg 3 times, and make 2 of those. So take them off and slide them onto the pegs which the eyes are on. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm not very good at explaining. But they should have 1 space between each other, just like the eyes. So this will make them on the top of the head. Make sure they're facing the workspace too. And also take the eyes and the white parts of the eyes and put them on. And after you put those on, you're just going to fill in the row with blue bands again. And it's pretty simple up to now. And then take 4 bands from the bottom of each peg and bring them up and over, like always. Okay, now in order to make sort of a neck, we're going to take 1 blue band, wrap it around itself, and wrap it around the entire pentagon. Then we're going to take another blue band and do the exact same thing. So there should be 2 bands twisted on top of themselves on that pentagon. And then we're going to take the bottom 4 bands on each peg, like always, and bring them up and over. And I had a little bit of difficulty with this, so sorry if I have some hesitation. saw stuffing in my Bulbasaur, don't do that. There's no reason to stuff it yet. It's too undeveloped. So we're going to put 2 times 2 blue bands in a row past each other with a cap band of white wrapped around the end peg 3 times, if that made any sense. And then you're going to need to make 4 of those for this Bulbasaur. So there's one, and you can just quickly pull on it to adjust it. Yeah, I just took the stuffing out. It was pointless. And then you're going to put it next to the eyes. So it's going to fill in those 2 blanks you left between the eyes. And I forgot to lift that one. And I had an extra there that I needed to get up. So, yeah. And make sure everything's on there and that the leg is facing down. So make your second leg and then put it next to the leg you just put on. So you should have something that looks like this. Then you're going to want to fill in the sides. Okay, now we're going to make the bulb of Bulbasaur. This took me a few tries, but you can just do this at the end of your loom. So you're going to take 1 green band and twist it around itself and then twist it around the pegs, as you can see, like I'm doing. And this is going to make a little triangle-ish figure. And then you take the bottom, there should be 2 bands, but it's just 1. Take the bottom 2 bands and wrap them around themselves. It should make a little knot in the center of the triangle. Then you're going to take 2 bands each time, so don't even question that, and you're going to make a triangle out of it. And you're just going to keep bringing the bottom bands from the last row above what you did now. And we're going to repeat this several times, so I'm going to speed ahead. But you're going to be able to count how many rows I did, don't worry. That was the second row. And that was the third row. So you're really just doing 3 rows of 2 green bands. Now you're going to take everything off and put it onto your hook and, well, put it somewhere you can keep it. I made this before I was ready for it, so I put it on the end of a pen, as you'll see in a minute. But you can just put it right onto your hook and put it on. So now we're going to take what we just made, mine's on the end of a pen. We're going to take one of those little bunches of bands and we're going to put it on one side. So you basically just need 2 bunches. This took me a little while to get on, so I'm going to speed ahead. But you're going to put one of those bunches on each peg. It might be a good idea to get something else to keep the last bunch of bands on because you're going to need your hook. So take the tight row that we just did and bring it up and over everything that we just put on. So not just did, the tight row that we did last time. And it might be a little hard and my camera is way out of focus here, I'm so sorry. But I'm going to skip ahead. It's pretty self-explanatory. There are 4 really tight bands that are on the bottom of each peg and you just bring those up and over. You should end up with something like this. So make sure the legs aren't stuck in those tight bands and you should have something like that from the side. It's always a good idea to push everything down after your row. So now we're just going to do a row of blue bands. And it should look something like this. All we did was put a row of blue bands and bring the bottom 4 bands on each peg up and over, as always. Okay, now we're going to do another row of just blue bands. So the exact same thing as the last row. look something like this when you're done. Now you're going to take 2 blue bands, take all of those leftover green bands from your bulb onto your hook and slide the 2 blue bands through those green bands and put them onto the pegs that had the other green bands. So that's going to be the end of the bulb. Then I'm going to make my next 2 legs, but you should already have yours. So get that leg and put it onto the Bulbasaur where the other legs were. So there will be 1 leg on top of each leg. And this is going to be the end after we fill in the row. So you're going to put a side band, well, 2 side bands, and then on the other side. So I already did the leg on the other side, sorry. I wasn't sure if I did that or not. So then we're going to bring everything up and over. And now making sure everything is pushed down and that it looks good. It should look like this from the front or the side. We're going to stuff it. You should feel where the neck is because it's sort of like a bottle cap. Like, not a bottle cap, but, you know, like it gets stuck. But you should still be able to push into the head. So now you're going to take off all of the bands. If you do it in the order I did it in, it looks the best because everything is straight on the back. So that's what Bulbasaur looks like. You're going to take 2 blue bands and put all of those bands on your hook onto the 2 blue bands. So this is how you finish up any project, really. And it's sort of hard to do with your fingers, but I was able to do it somehow with a lot of camera going out of focus. I'm sorry again. And make sure you don't get the actual 2 blue bands you're putting everything on. Make sure you don't take those off accidentally because that can be hazardous. So take the leftovers and just stick it through somewhere. And adjusting this project could be like pulling on the legs. That helps them be more defined. And pulling on the eyes also helps. So yeah, I'm just sticking those last 2 bands through. So here you go. Here was how to make a Rainbow Loom Bulbasaur. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like. The like goal for this video is 5, as always, and we've been doing pretty good reaching that like goal, mostly. So also make sure to subscribe and help out my channel even more. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!